you check the children? Show a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
And I'm Susie von Slaughter.
That's right, just like twice in just a few weeks. How
I
awesome
know,
is that?
Right?
So thank you very much for joining, Suze. Everyone loves it when you make it, and part of why you came for this one is because it's for a property that you actually pretty much enjoy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're here to talk about the fourth and final, at least in what they're calling book one of The Conjuring. That's what I heard they're referring to it as. So this is our non-spoiler review of The Conjuring Last Rites. And, of course, we're going to do this like we normally do. We'll talk about our overall thoughts, then the story, the acting, the effects, filmmaking, all of that good stuff in turn. And I think because we didn't talk about it at all, we try not to discuss...
Literally, we didn't. We just, left the theater and we're like, okay, I'll see you at your house.
Yep. We try not to discuss anything until the review, so I frankly don't have any idea what Susie thought of it, and vice versa. So, ladies first, what were your overall thoughts on this one?
So, being a fan of the Conjuring series,
You like all of them?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Like, I don't know. I don't have very high expectations for things anymore, and I feel like I enjoy them better. When I go
If
into
you
it
go
not
in
having
with no
expectations
expectations,
at
you're
all,
never
I'm like,
disappointed.
exactly, truly. Maybe that's what I found, man. Go into everything not having any expectations, but then again, like, I feel like, and I was thinking about this during the movie, I feel that the Conjuring series is, for people who aren't even really into horror per se, I think it's like the mainstream version of, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's a good gateway. It's like people that don't enjoy horror would watch this and be okay admitting that they watched it because it wasn't about horror.
Well,
it was
I
about
mean,
like family thriller
right,
or
but
whatever.
also
They'd find an
there's
excuse.
a lot of money in the Conjuring
Sure. Oh,
series.
yeah, of
you know,
course.
so what I mean? So there's good
Even the last
production,
one that
there's-
didn't do very well, it still made $65 million off of whatever, $20-30 million budget. I don't know.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So, like, they got a good budget, it looks good, it looks clean, you know, so people more willing probably to see that. Whereas, like, you know, something like Terrifier, that's a different level, you know what I mean? That's not something somebody would go actively probably out of their way to see. The Conjuring, like, even if you're not a horror fan, I think is that good stepping stone.
Yeah. I agree with that. So where does this one line up for you as far as all that goes with the series?
That's a good one. I do like how it kind of tied things.
Yes. Well, so it did and it didn't. What it did was it. So I'll jump in if that's okay with you. I'm not trying to interrupt you.
Please
Yeah,
don't.
but basically my overall thoughts are I enjoyed the film. I liked it better than 3, not as much as 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So, but what I will say is this feels like the most personal of all of the Conjuring films to the Warrens.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember the first one very well, but
We saw the second one. The second
was the
one's
daughter introduced in the first one? Was she like messed around with by Annabelle? Because clearly the daughter, her fear is Annabelle. So I feel like she must have been in that early movie before they spun off the Annabelle series. I don't remember. I didn't rewatch them ahead of this. So yeah, so basically,
I can't remember. There's so many.
Yeah, we're not spoiling anything, but you know, obviously because it's the Warrens, we do see Annabelle in the room and everything. So, and they reference things that might have happened in the past. That's why I say it's a personal story to the Warrens. But more than that, it had like I feel like the beginning of the movie almost upped us. You know what I mean? Where it was like
it got right into it, man.
It made me buy into the plot way more heavily because of what happened, and obviously us both being parents, it drives it home a little bit more.
I'm in there like
than for everyone. Oh, dude, I teared up. I teared up. Like when I was like. Because at the same time, I was like, please, because it's so easy in movies like this to put your own kids
100%.
into places, you know?
Yeah.
And like, it's funny because I started the Conjuring series, and even both of the first 2, I watched without having kids.
Right.
And now I have, you know, a kid who has a sister, and like I just watch movies so differently now, and like that was so easy to put him in that place, and like. So I bought in heavily. Like, what I mean by the movie almost upped us, where like it hits you with a really emotional like setup and like kind of origin the way Up did. That makes you super emotional and has you buy into the rest of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know what I
that
mean?
is a very good comparison.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. So because that's the way I felt about it, and as a result, I was way more engaged and invested. Yes, yes, exactly. Even though I feel like it took the Warrens, it took a long time for the Warrens to actually accept this case. You know what I mean? The movie was 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it probably wasn't until an hour 15, an hour 30 before they finally accepted the case.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not to say it's boring up until then. It just
No.
follows the Warrens separately from the family. And like they're even asked to help with the family at one point by the priest from the previous movies, and they're like, no, we don't really do that anymore. And then like essentially things have to get so bad where they are, you know, they have to sort of get involved, and that's sort of the long and short of the story is long and short of the story. But yeah, I mean, my overall thoughts were I enjoyed the movie. I feel like they did have some cool, creepy setups, but most of it, like I would say 80% of the scares that they set up and executed were similar to things we've seen in the past. There was only really one or two.
Right.
The one that was the scariest that I thought was coolest without spoiling, I'll just say phone cord.
Oh,
That was, I think, the
fuck
best
me.
one.
Yes, that was so good.
That was easily the best in the movie.
Yeah.
But everything else was good. It's just I feel like it's been done better, and even done better within this series.
And I feel, and see, that's the thing though, right? I love the Conjuring series, and so yes, it was very on brand.
Yeah.
For their style, but that's what I like about it.
That's
I
fair.
do enjoy that style of the series, you know. So I like it from that standpoint. There were some things that I wasn't happy. There was one. I'll tell you, there was one thing I wasn't happy about. I was kind of disappointed with.
Really?
Yes.
Is it in the resolution kind of thing? Like, is it or was it
No.
part of the setup kind of thing?
Part of the setup.
Okay, all right. Well,
Okay.
we'll talk about it
Yeah,
after the fact.
okay.
But fair enough. So there was something that you didn't jive with.
Yeah, but
I
love the
didn't-
story though.
Okay.
Loved
okay.
the story. Loved the acting.
Yeah, I thought the acting was
really
phenomenal.
I loved. They really played a believable family. They really did.
That's what I liked so much about this is they went back to the family dynamic that was so heavily featured in 1 and 2. I don't remember the family dynamic being featured as much in 3. Like, I feel like they were more investigating, like, a missing girl or, like, deaths that had happened, more so than engaging with a family that was being haunted. And this went back to that.
Yeah.
And so I that's what I loved so much about the first 2. And there's a nice surprise at the end of the movie for everyone that's a fan of the series. So... I was very, very happy with that.
I was
honestly.
too. I was
and there's a really funny cameo that I caught immediately. That we were sitting right next to Sinister Cinema Reviews and his lovely wife, and I like yelled it out, and then they went back to it for another shot, and then he pointed it out. I was like, yeah, like. So it's cool. Like, if you're a fan of the Conjuring series, I think you're going to enjoy the movie, even if it's not necessarily the best in the franchise. It definitely is. Of that upper echelon of Conjuring paranormal movies.
No, in this
you know
one
what I mean?
is
so many other movies are trying to be the Conjuring series.
Yeah, that's,
like this maintains the quality level.
Yeah.
It just doesn't maintain quite the originality that I feel like 1 and 2 have.
But I feel like originality. Let's go. So
No,
like,
I mean,
No,
I might be
so, like,
a little
it's their
unfair
story,
here.
right?
Yeah.
Like, so just like talking.
Yeah.
So it's their story. So what do you mean by originality?
And as I say it, it's like it's another family being, messed around with by,
sure,
a
but
ghost
that
or
was
demon.
their job. That's what they did.
Yeah, I know. So it's not that it's original per se, but what it is that there's so many other films that are trying to be The Conjuring. The Conjuring movies in and of themselves are at a particular level.
So do you feel that they should have like punched it up a bit
I feel like
to be like, no, we
it's asking a lot. I guess it's asking a lot, but they set such high bars between, the clapping in the first movie,
Yeah.
right? And the fact that the mom like almost loses it at the end and like she's the one possessed. That was all original and really high quality. The second one had the crooked man.
God, that was so.
Had
That
the
was
nun
so
scene,
good. I
the
think that
nun
was
in the
my
painting
favorite.
scene.
I think the second one's my favorite.
Yeah, me too. And the third one was a little lackluster, but I guess I don't know. Like my mind's a little all over the place. Again, we're doing this just 30 minutes after watching the movie, but I can't even remember the point I was making when I made that originality comment. It's just that they had a lot of original ways to scare us, I felt, in the first two movies. And the ways they chose to scare us in this one were largely the same as they chose in 1 and 2.
Fair.
And, like, again, it's become very de rigueur in horror movies nowadays to have the, oh, something's barely visible in the shadows in the background. You know, we got that a lot in Hereditary was kind of peak that to me. And now anytime anyone does it, I'm like, okay, there's that. You know, that's what I mean by not as original, which it's probably not the right phrasing, but at least that's my explanation for it.
It's this. I get what you're saying. Like it's the same. It's not. It's the same.
It's better than everything else.
Yes.
It's not as good as the stuff they did in the earlier ones. Yeah.
What now? What?
Yeah. It's
okay,
like that was good.
Great, guys.
That was great.
I love this.
But
now what?
I feel like you could do better at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Maybe that's unfair. You know, I fully admit that. So yeah, story-wise, again, the crux of it is there's a new family that is being, haunted / tormented by something having to do with an object that they have recently brought into the home. Same setup as 1 and 2. Obviously, the music box in 1. Along with Annabelle, and then 2, I don't even remember what the main object was in 2, but yeah, this one is a mirror, and that's it actually ties in with a very early moment in the Warrens' career, and so their final case kind of is full circle with their first case, and it all deeply involves their daughter. Yeah. Who Lorraine was pregnant with during that first case encounter. So yeah, her daughter Judy features very heavily in the film, and her daughter Judy also happens to have the same gifts, if you want to call them that, as her mom. And her mom is trying to, help her through how to deal with this. When they all get embroiled in this new case. Yeah. So that's as much as I can say about the story without spoiling it. I quite liked it. It didn't feel convoluted. It felt appropriately deep, and it felt rich. Right? Yeah. There was the richness of the family, which I feel like maybe the family got slightly short shrift compared to the families in 1 and 2, where I felt like I was a little bit closer to those families than I was in this, and only because they had to split time with the Warrens.
Exactly, yeah.
The 1 and 2, it was all families until the Warrens came into it, 45 minutes in. This one, it's like the Warrens split time for the first hour and 15 minutes. Yeah. And then everyone comes together, Yeah. So it's not that it didn't work, it's that
it was a really good setup.
Right. It was a different setup,
but it didn't feel like
it
was 2 hours. Like when he said it before the movie started,
2:15,
apparently it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. I was like, all right, let's buckle up, man. And so I just put my seat back.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like
I did check my phone one time when we had 45 minutes left. I did check it one time, but then I didn't again. I forgot about it because the rest carried through so well. So I'm not gonna knock the runtime against it. Again, part 2, if I recall, was like 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours and 30 minutes. But they utilized the hell out of that space. You know what I mean?
But I feel like they did with this one too. They did. There wasn't a moment that I wasn't entertained or engaged or invested. And like we were saying, right at the gate, I
don't think the ghosts were as cool. They weren't as unique and interesting.
This is the part that I'm talking about that I said I wasn't very happy with.
Okay.
Can we touch on that?
Yeah, go ahead. Without spoiling, but yeah. Say what you want to say, and I'll cut. I'll rewind it back.
It's a CG.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
We'll talk about that in effects. Yeah,
oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay,
that's
okay,
all.
But fair. Okay, so we'll get to that. But yeah, I felt like the antagonists were the least interesting antagonists that we had gotten thus far. They were the most generic.
Because it was
overall farmer and
it's just
creepy lady.
They didn't live in the house. But
we saw both of these in trailers, so I'm not spoiling anything. But it's overall wearing farmer and creepy lady.
Yeah.
And like that's about it. Creepy lady
Yeah.
that everyone hated the shot of in the trailer. They thought the CG looked terrible. So, you know what? Let's just segue right into the effects. So, go ahead. Hit your gripe.
That is what I didn't like. Is the one character, the one.
You didn't like the design? You didn't
I
like
didn't
the
like
makeup
it.
effects? Or you didn't... What didn't you like about
effects? It was like basically CG. A very horrible... That CG, that looking thing.
Like the Rictus grin kind of thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
like it was. I don't think I was disappointed. I was
It
like,
wasn't-
You could have used practical. Yeah. You could have
Yeah.
come up with something so much cooler. Like think of Insidious. Think
Yeah.
of that character with just black and red. It's black
yeah.
and red, but it's intense.
Yeah.
It's an intense fucking character.
100%.
You know, but this, I was really disappointed with that.
We've had so many creepy, smiling, paranormal creatures recently that
Yeah.
a smiling female is like, again, we just had it in Weapons, except she was painted up like a clown, you know, like, but it's still same thing. Like, I'm done with the creepy old lady smiling shit. Like, can we move on, please? Like, yeah, old women, creepy. Okay, great. Like, they're still life givers, but they're creepy when they age. Like, fuck you at this point. You know what I mean? Like on behalf of the ladies, like, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Oh, the horrors of life. You know, oh, old women, so scary. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, it's so much.
No, I can see, but again, yeah. So that I feel like that kind of fell short because for it, and that's the thing too, right? Like for it being such a horrible, and this was in the trailers too, like the worst that made them quit.
Yeah.
What they would do.
That right? Yeah, it's like that. No, I feel like the nun or the crooked man would have done that. You know,
like the nun, like
what the? These are not
I mean,
like this
girl
is
got a whole
inhuman shit.
spin-off.
Yeah,
The girl got a whole spin-off for herself.
the fact that we
Like,
still never got a crooked man spinoff.
yeah,
like,
that's
it just-
wild.
it-
Crooked Man.
It was the best thing the
Crooked
series ever
Man.
produced, and they never.
That would
never
be a
went
good
for it.
one. Ah, fuck.
Anywho, so yeah, okay, so effects wise, so was it this? What CG were you like? I mean, don't specifically ruin the shot, like, but because so you're talking about like CG augmentation of
Like the
people's
entire
looks.
thing was CG.
I mean, no, there was
The old
there was
woman.
some
Some of it-
some of her was practical.
Some of
was
it, but in the
practical.
the first shot you see,
Yeah.
the first one was.
That's the one from the trailer.
Like,
That's
it's-
the one from the trailer. Yeah.
It's.
I don't think that's CG is the thing. I think that's not CG. I think it was just shot poorly.
I didn't
And
think so.
like,
No,
and it was
moved
CG
so-
augmented, but
I don't know.
well, look, I could be wrong, but fair. I'm not gonna, you know,
I
I'm not
wasn't
gonna
happy with
belittle
it.
your thoughts on
I
it.
wasn't happy with
So
it.
for the most part, the effects were kind of on par. It did get a
No,
little
they
silly.
were.
Like, I'll say this: one part that ended up like it's supposed to be super intense, but it ended up looking like a revolving door that just went a little out of control. You know what I mean? It wasn't quite as scary when I pictured that in my head.
I mean, what else do you expect it to do?
I know. Well, yeah.
I
Like,
mean-
how can you make that scary? It's like the most unassuming object.
Right?
It's like it
yeah.
literally does nothing
I mean,
but sit
it came
there.
for it afterwards, man.
Yeah.
They came for it.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Like-
Suddenly,
Like,
suddenly it was very
it's
pressing
like, this one's
concern.
for you, Cecil.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, well, and those effects were cool though. I thought that was pretty intense. Like that scene was
that
done
was
well.
good. That was CG, but that was done
Yeah,
very well.
well, it was
I
So
mean, I was happy with
for
that.
the most part, the effects were fine. Like I didn't bump into the effects. Again, I tend to be more forgiving than a lot of other people.
I'm a
but
little biased.
I didn't bump into the effects. I thought they were fine. They were appropriate. It's not the effects that were silly. It was the scenario that unfortunately necessitated the effects to look silly because of what they were asking the effects designers to do. And like when you know that the weight and heft of a thing wouldn't allow it to physically do the things you're having it do, it just pulls you out of it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So some people might bump into that. I choose to not let that kind of thing, like I acknowledge it and I note it in my head, but I do my best to stay in the moment. You know, I try and not let it pull me out of especially when it's literally the most,
Yeah.
you know, like the denouement, you know,
Sure.
it's the beginning
Yeah.
of the climax, and it's like, that's
Yeah.
a choice, you know?
Oh, well, that's an interesting choice of free will.
Right. Now, circling back to the filmmaking, I feel like the filmmaking was really good. I liked all the shots. I thought there was a lot
loved
of
it. Set design
really
was great.
creepy. What I liked,
Set design was great. I was
Set
looking
design
for
was
all
great.
those 80s,
Yeah,
like
production
some
design.
like in the kids' room. They really,
sure.
they killed it. They
yeah, because
really
it takes
did.
place in '86.
Yeah.
So it definitely has that feel. What I like is the use of pinhole lights in the
Yeah.
darkness. Like the
Okay.
TV pan up
That
is one of the coolest
thing
things.
I love. That was thank
Yeah.
you for saying this
Yeah.
because this was one thing I loved about in the movie because it touched on everybody what everybody experiences at one point of their life.
Mm-hmm.
You are looking in a dark corner and you think it's something,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that this and so many times in this film touched on those things that I was like. Oh, that's right. It's just
Yeah,
like,
because
it's
at one point, you see in the darkness, you just see these. Someone is looking at something that makes you think a particular way, and the camera pans up, and in the darkness, you just see these two little pinholes of light. And I was just waiting. I'm like, if those motherfuckers blink, I'm leaving this fucking theater. Like if those things, if they just go, boop,
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out. Like it was like that they did well. Like again. They are of the upper echelon of these kinds of scares. It's just they're not wholly original scares anymore. But they do them well enough where they're still effective.
Right.
Right? So they
I mean, it's Conjuring. It's very on brand.
Yeah,
for them.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I mean, any final thoughts from you? Like, did the scores, you know, stick
I was
out
just
to
gonna
you?
say the music was great. I
Yep.
love how they incorporated all the different sounds of what was like going on, like in the music as well.
The
Like,
sound design was
design
dope.
was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really really good. It made me feel like older movies that used to write the score according to what was going to happen. You know what I mean? And it really, I think it was done very beautifully to make you really in the moment. It just helps.
One thing the Conjuring movies excel in, and I do think that this one carries on the tradition, is a tradition of numerous moments where you as an audience members go, nope, absolutely not. I would not do that. Nope.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every movie needs a nope.
Yeah, 100%. And it's so funny because I literally just rewatched a movie. It was Barbarian. The best moment in the whole movie was where the lead character like opens up the fucking door to this dark ass corridor, and she just goes, "Nope." And like just stays outside. And I was like, dude, I remember it getting such a big. I had forgotten about that moment until I rewatched it because it left Max at the end of August, and I hadn't rewatched it since the theater. And after watching Weapons, I was like, let me rewatch this. It's still just the ending is still just as stupid and over the top as it was the first time. But that moment was great, and the Conjuring moments are full of moments where you just go, nope, fuck no.
Yeah.
So you got to give it credit for that,
Yeah.
honestly. You know, with the amount of horror movies that are just rinse and repeat, you know, stamp on a conveyor belt, stamp on a conveyor belt, stamp on a conveyor belt. You gotta give The Conjuring credit for being able to come up with enough creepy scenarios still in its fourth movie to there was a time where I got goosebumps all over.
Oh, sure,
I
yeah.
don't remember the moment it was in this one, but if I rewatched it, I obviously would. But there was a moment where I was like, ooh. You know, yeah, I if I thought of it, it would be a spoiler anyway. But,
yeah. No, I'm like, I have one in my head right now.
Oh, you do?
but
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I can't say it.
Well, tell me real quick, and I'll cut it anyway, because I want to. My reaction would be worth
Oh, when Judy got possessed,
Yeah.
and like then Patrick like saw her, and then when Lorraine saw her too, I was like, oh, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna kill her? Because like she's a demon.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, are they gonna like exercise her? Like fucking yeah.
No,
that
I didn't.
shit.
Yeah, no, I didn't. That didn't hit me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I was like, not my baby. It was just like my baby. I was like, that's. I was like, what would I do? One of my children would possess. Like, I just put a chain around their neck and just feed them.
That's what killed
Shaun
me.
of the Dead.
Yeah.
That's what got me.
That's
like,
no, that killed me though when Lorraine, like after I'll cut all this out, but after she had been hung and they fell through the ceiling, and she makes it down and she runs up like crying.
Yeah.
Like, please, baby, please.
Oh god. Oh no.
Yeah, dude. But the baby was the worst. Like, again, since we're on it, when
dude.
she was just like, she just kept saying, please, God, bring her back. Please, God, bring her back. I was just like,
no, it was
please,
like,
God, bring her back. Please, God, bring her back.
No, it was too intensely close to me because, like, when I had Lily, I just remember afterwards, and I didn't hear her crying, and all these nurses were, like, around her, and I'm just like, what's going on? And then this nurse is, like, walking slowly over to me, and I'm like, what's happening? And they're like, okay, she's like, okay, so your baby came out really fast, and I'm like, what's happening? And she's like, so her head is very badly bruised to the point that it looks like she's dead. She's like, the rest of her body's pink, so she's fine. She's like, but I have to warn you before I give her to you.
Jesus. Because
it is so intense. And I'm gonna just give my baby. Dude, her whole fucking head was like a fucking grape. Just blue, purple, just so that scene I was like, girl, I feel you. Oh my god.
And the paleness of the baby was fucking
that was
destroyed.
Yeah.
Those actors were really good though as young versions of Okay, wait, let me cut into that.
Okay.
All right, so I'm cutting out a bunch of stuff because we can't talk about what she said, but I will say that at one point we do see younger versions of Ed and Lorraine Warren where they got a couple of younger actors to play the parts, and especially Ed was like.
Perfect.
I was like, Jesus Christ, that's not Patrick Wilson. Like,
I thought it was.
I was like, did they just de-age them?
Dude,
but,
I was
like,
I
yeah,
thought
they
so
did a really good job.
I was like, did they put fucking like a nose, like a fake prosthetic on him and shit? I was like, oh wait, no, that's a completely different actor. Because like his mannerisms were exactly
they did a great
the same.
job.
They really did a really stunning job. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, guys, overall, I do think it's very worth your time. I think if you're a fan of the Conjuring movies, you're going to be a fan of this one. And because it is the final Ed and Lorraine movie, you got to see it to close out, the quadrilogy. Book one of the Conjuring verse, or whatever the hell they want to call it from now on. It's good. It's worth your time. And again, it's one that will be augmented by a large crowd. Right, it's definitely one of those where the vibe will, much like the wave at a sports event. Do people still do that? I'm old. I don't know. You're not really a sport. Yeah, like I'm asking Susie,
Yay,
like she goes
sports.
to football. Yeah, sports ball. Anywho, yeah, it's the kind of movie you want to see with a crowd that are into it. So definitely go and check it out, especially if you're a fan of the Conjuring movies. You won't be disappointed. Thank you to Allied for having us out for this film. We greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel the way that you do. And if you guys have watched up to this point, thank you very much. Like, wow, you're real ones. So so until next time, you guys. Tomorrow we're going. Well, not Susie, but tomorrow I will be seeing The Long Walk with Fuego and Mahalo, the new Stephen King movie, and then. In a couple weeks, I'm seeing Him with Davy Deathray, so we'll be reviewing that. So all the horror movies coming up soon, we will be discussing on the channel. So keep your eyes and ears posted. What the fuck am I saying? Yeah, stay tuned. Anyway, until next time, guys, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Susie Von Slaughter.
And remember, stay scared.